Now, the first thing I want to do today is to make a very important announcement, a statement calling for human rights in Iran has been signed by over 500 international dignitaries, politicians, and other NGOs and human rights advocates and activists. That document, signed by so many people from so many different countries across the world, is profoundly important. I, too, have signed it. It calls for no to executions, no to immunity for the perpetrators of the massacre of 30,000 people, political prisoners, mostly PMOI MEK members who were executed in 1988. This statement highlights the increasing number of executions in Iran now. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, every 3.5 hours, a person is executed in Iran. On the 8th of July, the state-run Farsi news agency, very shockingly, praised the 1988 atrocity as a successful historical experience, saying that it should be repeated. And you know, now the regime is even destroying the mass graves to conceal evidence. Amnesty International and the UN have warned of the very real danger of another such massacre. As signatories to this very important statement today, we demand an immediate halt to executions, prosecutions of those responsible for past and present crimes, including the 1988 massacre, targeted sanctions against human rights violators, and urgent action by the UN and international human rights bodies to prevent further atrocities in Iran. So we meet, friends, today not only to condemn that alarming increase in executions in Iran, but to call for urgent action to stop it, to save lives. We must ask why these executions are happening, why now, and who is responsible. Iran has long ranked as the world's leading executioner. But never in the past 4 decades has the death penalty been used so frequently. Since Masoud Pezeshkian took office in July last year, over 1,820 executions have been reported. And the true number is probably higher, given the regime's secrecy. The regime knows that such brutality provokes condemnation, yet it continues, and it even boasts about it. Why? Because these executions aim to terrorize a restless young people anxiously rising for democratic change. This also explains the focus on executing supporters and members of the NCRI and PMOI under false charges, like waging war against God. It reveals what the regime fears most, an organized regime offering a democratic alternative capable of guiding dissent into a decisive moment for change. And we have seen, terribly, an increasing number, not only in the number of men and young men executed, but also the number of young women executed this year. We know of 37 such executions. And all these executions are aimed specifically at terrifying people so that they will stop protesting against the regime and stop seeking change. The NCRI, led by Madam Rajavi, presents a vision placing Iran's future in the people's hands, empowering women to lead, and laying out a roadmap for a free, democratic republic. The regime's persecution and propaganda aim to silence this message of hope, which resonates so deeply across Iran. Today, 17 political prisoners face imminent execution for supporting the PMOI. We see their names and their photographs here today to honor their courage. Earlier this year, 2 PMOI political prisoners, Behrouz Esani and Mahdi Hassani, were executed in Ghazar Hessar prison. I wrote to the Foreign Office, the UK Foreign Office, urging intervention. The minister assured me that calling Iran to account remains a priority. I welcome this assurance. I welcome the reintroduction of sanctions by the UK on the 1st of October on over 70 Iranian individuals and organizations linked to Iran's nuclear program, but we need to go further. The regime will not stop unless it faces consequences. And therefore, I ask the UK government to end impunity by referring the regime's human rights record and the perpetrators to the UN Security Council for prosecution in the International Criminal Court, to impose targeted sanctions on the Supreme Leader, Ali Khamenei, the judiciary, and the senior officials implicated in these crimes, to apply the universal jurisdiction to prosecute perpetrators, including the Supreme Leader, Ali Khamenei, for these terrible crimes, and to support the Iranian people's democratic aspirations and to recognize the NCRI's democratic platform for a free Iran without the death penalty. I want to say a word to the courageous people inside Iran, to the resistance units and the political prisoners who endure torture yet refuse to bow. You are not alone. Your courage lights the path to an Iran without executions, without tyranny, without fear, an Iran of freedom. Your cause is just, and you will prevail. Thank you. And I want to commend this statement on the current situation on executions in Iran, which has been signed by over 500 people, to the media, to the journalists, that they will read it and see the extent of support for the people of Iran and for Madam Rajavi.